Okay, great. Welcome. My name is Donna Piper, and today we're going to talk about Reiki. So, I am certified in Reiki, and so what that means is that I went through a certain technique, and I'm going to show you here. And I'm going to start reading. I'm going to read a little bit from my official manual just because it's a little easier, and then I'll tell you my take on what Reiki is. So, this is it. It's the Radiance Technique, and it's authentic Reiki. So, the founder of this technique that made it into training is Barbara Ray, and it was adapted from, or not really adapted, but she took it, and after Mrs. Um, Tanaka's death in 1980. So she learned it from her, and then after her death in 1980, Barbara Ray went ahead and developed this program. So she's in charge of it right now. So let's get into what Reiki is. So Reiki really is just, it works with energy. Now there's lots of different energy work out there, and what Reiki is that it's on the premise of a universal energy. So everything has energy to it, and it's the light that is, and the energy is in with all beings, with and all matter really in the earth. So it's like a rock has energy in it, a plant has energy in it, humans have energy, animals, etc. And the premise is to take that energy and the inner energy and raise the vibration of it, so that you're really, it's an expansion. It's not a getting rid of. It's not there in this Reiki technique. There's no pulling out of anything or anything like that. It is just taking the energy that's already within you and expanding it. So let's talk about what they say when you look, and you can look up the Radiance Technique online. You can talk all about it. But it is a science of universal energy. So for universal energy, they define it as of or affecting all of the whole, existing and prevailing everywhere. It is a kind of energy different from others, such as electrical or fossil fuel energy or nuclear energy. The qualities of this transcendental energy are that it's harmless, beneficial, safe, present in all life, abundant, nurturing, sustaining, and expansive. So it's a vibrational energy science, and it's precisely used for balancing and aligning to the higher order of energies within the whole physical, emotional, mental, spiritual dynamic. So it's for natural growth, it's an unfolding process of self-transformation, and for enlightenment. It is an activator of the whole energy from within, and a releaser and transformer of energy. It is this expansion technique, and once the radiant universal light has been accessed, this expands upon the principle of wholeness from the point of light within you and within all living beings. This technique directly accesses the radiant universal energy within all of us, and when used as an instructor, promotes your natural energy balancing and moves always in the direction of your wholeness. So it allows you to go beyond your senses. So if you think of your outer body and you go all the way into your inner, as you go from outer to inner, you account your emotions, your mental processes, which is a fixed, concrete, this is it, this is what I say it is, this is how I can prove, and also your mental part of your intuition. And then as you go deeper into your being, where your inner light is, and then you can also expand in that area. And that's really what the balancing is to balance the inner and the outer. So every day, life, we change things, things happen to us, and sometimes our energies aren't always balanced. So we do a lot of practices to come back into balance and ground. That's just part of the ebb and flow in life. You're never going to get to a point where you're just balanced and you're done, because then you wouldn't be a living, breathing human with emotions and changing to your environment and able to adapt. So what Reiki in this technique specifically does is just allow you to become calm and balanced, and it is done remotely, and you don't have to be present. All you do have to do is give permission that I can do Reiki on you. So how it's going to work with our group for the next until March of next year is every week I will do a session of Reiki, and you just have to Voxer me or let me know that you want to be a part of that week's session. It's harmless and nothing happens to you. There's nothing that could be negative. There's, like I said, there's some Reiki that you could go and they pull out things and stuff. That's not this Reiki. This Reiki is really just taking the light within you and expanding the light. So within us, with light and dark, we live in a duality situation because we live on Earth, but they're not against each other. So if you stand in the sun, you cast a shadow. That doesn't mean that the shadow is negative or bad. It's part of you. It's just how the light reflects. So the more inner light you have, that's enlightenment, and that taps into the universal wholeness. So the joy, the pleasure, the compassionate, the loving, the caring. It doesn't negate the other. It just creates more of that within you that's accessible. So when we're going through the work that we're doing and we're releasing emotions in the subconscious level, and we're doing work in the Akashic Records and healing, the integration phase, this is just a nice added bonus to the integration phase, because it takes all of the light and the space that you've created with releasing those blocks from your subconscious, negative core anchor beliefs, any sort of ties, anything you have, and it just takes that energy that's there and it just creates more space to, I don't want to say level up, but basically you raise the vibration. And the whole idea is to come into wholeness. So that is the premise. That's what Reiki is. And then Reiki also goes over the 7 chakra systems. So if Reiki can also be done, like you could come to me or I could come to you and do hands-on Reiki. Hands-on Reiki really is, I don't actually touch you. It's about 1 to 2 inches above, and there's certain positions that I place my hands over as we start to and take the energy and expand the light. So it's all about expanding the light energy that's already in you already. That's why it's harmless, and that's why it's beneficial, and that's why it's balanced. So the idea is to have a lot of resources in you, so to resource yourself enough so you have all the tools. So you can say tools, resource, so you have everything you need within you that's there already. So if you feel like you've been super stressed out to the max and you just have been in the stress mode, which most everyone has during this pandemic, whether you have taken lots of good self-care or not, it's definitely been underlying everything. So we want to take that to the opposite to give you a resource where there's calm and peaceness. So you have there's more of a choice. There's a resource for just as much as there's a resource in you to go, okay, this is what stress means. This is what I know how to deal with stress. We take that and we like, okay, this is the light, this is the love, this is the compassion energy, this is the openness, the wholeness energy. And the more there are resources within you that experience that wholeness, then it's going to support everything else in your life that comes through with more ease and grace. And that's really the main idea, is to have you resourced enough with light, positive energy, thoughts that are more in line with you, thoughts that are really based in what you really want to have happen, other than what you were taught maybe, that were placed in you, or your experiences before that are running you. Moving away from that and moving into, okay, this is my belief now. This is my energy now. This is how I can access some peace and calmness. This is where I can go into myself and expand my light. And that is really this little extra caveat I'm giving everyone in the program for this next 10 months or so. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below or Voxer me. And I look forward to doing Reiki with you.